I spent a month training young horses in Pambacinchi, Ecuador. That is a green paradise in the Andes Mountains, and in this video I'm gonna tell you what it was like. It's 8 in the morning. It's the beginning of my working day. That starts with getting boys from the pastures to the paddock, and fortunately some of them are already here. Hey Iris. Yes, you're ready to lead a team of boys to the paddock. Here's my beautiful Iris. And here are my boys, usually biting each other. This is a good illustration. Having brought boys to the paddock, I went searching for the girls. And now we found the girls. The girls. But the forest was so huge, it sometimes took me a long time to find them. And taking into account that Hacienda Pambacinchi is enormous, sometimes I spent several hours a day just walking to one of its parts to pick up the boys, and then to another part to pick up the girls. And then in the evening I had to bring both boys and girls back. When boys and girls met at the paddock, love was in the air. Boys were trying so hard to get girls' attention. After we brought horses to the paddock, our training started. I usually trained 2 or 3 horses a day, and I think in a month I was in Pambacinchi. We worked with 5 horses in total. I have worked with horses that were the different levels of training. Some of them were making their first steps, and some of them were quite advanced. Also, horses had different tempos of training. Here's Lasha, he's quite nervous, and we did a lot of exercises to reduce his nervosity before we finally could ride him. And this is Arias. He made such a quick progress. We were joking that after 2 weeks of training, he will be an accomplished show horse. He was also very smart, and he was an alpha of the young boys. And this is Scorpio. From all the horses I worked with, I worked the most with him. And now we will start at a saddle. You're comfortable with it, aren't you? Good boy. You're a very good boy. But you know it already, don't you? And not only I witnessed his quick progress, but also he gave me a confidence in my teaching skills. Already in his 2nd week of training, he was doing everything I asked him for. Oh, well, almost everything. I was so proud of him. Training of the young horses always started with working on the ground. We had to make sure horses are comfortable with us and have trust in us. And after we had a feeling that we developed a good partnership, we tried to get into the saddle, first just for a few seconds, and every day more and more, until one day we could independently ride them. Good boy. Good boy.
Suelta la mano, suelta la mano. Suelta. Eso. Mira, José. Abre las manos. ¡Cut! ¡Listo!
On weekends, the owner of Hacienda, Rodrigo, came by and we did jumping lessons. That was a lot of fun.
Listo. Van para el río. ¿Ves qué buen caballo? Aquí se ve.
¿Es flash o?
Este salto, ¿no? El último. ¡Ah! Una más.
Wow.
Hermoso. ¡Os! ¡Os! Que no sea loco. Solo te pones aquí para que no se abra nomás. ¡Os! Ahora ella ya sabe que puede hacerlo. A las yeguas no les forzamos mucho porque damos prioridad a los machos, pero es por eso que ella no tiene la experiencia. ¡Ah! Déjale, déjale. Qué bonita. Vamos, vamos, vamos. Solo trote.
But not only horses were exercising then, but also I was riding behind the horses on the paddock to motivate them to jump.
Vamos, una más.
And after months I spent trekking in the Andes to bring the horses to the paddock and running behind them on the paddock, I was in a really good physical condition. Couple of times we went on a trail ride, exploring the beautiful parts of Hacienda on horseback. Y ese es el famoso volcán.
Cotacachi.
Aquí.
No hay. Es de ahí.
Ahora no se ven.
No se ve. Y ahí más abajo es Huicocha. Muy corto. Eso muy corto.
On weekends, I also explore the nearby town of Otavalo and its beautiful surroundings. Saturday was a big market day in Otavalo, actually famous not only in the town but countrywide. They had rows and rows with different things like toys of guinea pigs, Panama hats that are apparently not only from Panama but also from Ecuador, and ethnic jewelry and clothing. And the area around Otavalo is extremely beautiful. You can find there waterfalls, volcanic lakes, volcanoes, but also there are popular sightseeing places like Pichunga Waterfall, like Huaycocha Lake and Cotopaxi Volcano were quite well visited. There were lots of people and rows with souvenirs and food. So every time I came back to the hacienda from a day out in the city or its surroundings, I thought, wow, this is the most beautiful place in Ecuador. There in the green meadows among eucalyptus forests and high volcanoes, I was shepherding the herds of young horses. When I was not working with them in the paddock, I just like hanging out with them, reading a book or cuddling them and scratching them. Hey there. You have ears like a baby. And the horses are grazing here, the mares are grazing here in the forest. And today I'm not working with the horses but just checking on them, to spend time with them so that when they see me, they don't associate it with work but with pleasure. Like Arius wants to get scratched now. Here are my two beautiful boys, Arius and Scorpio. And the horses came to me. I guess it's a good sign that they're feeling comfortable with me, with my presence. And here are my boys. Now it started raining. We'll see if we can do much today. There were also a couple of days when it rained so hard that we could not work and all the roads turned into rivers of mud. Here I climbed onto a fence as the paddock turned into a swamp where my feet were just sinking. But here is an important disclaimer about rain and weather in Ecuador. Before I went to Otavalo, I was googling weather there and it looked like it was raining there all the time, all days long. And I thought it will be this 100 years of rain when I'll be there. But it was not so even when weather report predicted rain, it was either not raining most of the time or just it rained a bit, just the way it is in the mountains. To the entrance to my house is being blocked by the girls. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience to stay at the hacienda. Apart from horses, they also had 800 cows, and sometimes they were blocking the entrance to my humble hut. I just got some fresh milk. That was the best milk I've ever had. But other fun experiences I had a ride with a tractor. I played Power Rangers game a lot with my friend Sarai. And I would not enjoy my time at Pampacinchi that much if it were not my Kalikase.
Va a caer.
And Rodrigo, from whom I learned so much about natural horsemanship.
A él le es incómoda esta posición y este es un caballo de cuello corto. Acaricio, pero no me quedo sujetando. Por eso solté la rienda. Es preferible que suelte y otra vez, insisto. Filma mi mano, como muevo la mano, así. Y suelto. Y ahora avanzo. Y hago lo que hacíamos parados. Y suelto. Pierna y suelto. Y al otro lado, con la mirada.
I really hope I'm gonna come back